Welcome to the Energy Hour. The Energy Hour is brought to you by Quality Home Improvement, Southern California's premier residential and commercial contractor, making homes and businesses energy efficient, one building at a time.
Hey, Rob, what's going on?
How you doing, Chris?
You know, here we are, November 14th.
Wow.
And this year has gone by with a blur.
Absolutely, especially the second half.
You know, I mean, from June on, we were kind of busy, but all of a sudden it's like skipping a rock on the lake, you know, boom, 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 and here we are at the end of the year. Hell, you know what really kind of burns me out is everybody talks about Black Friday the day after Halloween. I'm just like, what happened to Thanksgiving, man? Relax.
Actually, and there are some electronic companies already doing the Black Fridays.
My kid is playing Christmas music already, and I'm frazzled.
It's crazy. I mean, the end of the year is near.
Hey, listen,
you know,
I love Bing Crosby. But not now. Let's kill the turkey first.
Let's get past the
turkey.
I'm
traditional, right? you know, okay, you got your Mother's Day, Father's Day, do all this stuff.
Yeah.
But, you know, that'd be like doing Christmas pre-June.
I mean, Halloween in one day becomes turkeys, and then you're already doing the Christmas. It's like, let me finish one holiday first.
You know, why don't they just delete the, the turkey day? Just get rid of that. It doesn't mean anything anymore.
Well, now there's Thanksgiving and there's Friendsgiving. Friendsgiving is a lot of times the day before. So it's like, it's another holiday to split up. I do like the turkey, though. I like my turkey.
I live for the, what do they call that stuff you get when you eat it? It's tryptolene or whatever the hell it is.
The tryptophans or whatever that's in there. That's right.
Yeah, I get to,
every time I used to
couple notches on my belt, kind of lay down there for a minute.
Every time I'd fly out of LAX on a long, long flight, like going to, whether I was going down to Australia or Africa or whatever, I would always go to this one deli they had there, and they had a warm turkey sandwich.
Oh yeah,
thick, right, with the hot mustard, and
you want to go to sleep.
Exactly,
man.
I'd eat that. I get on the plane, I take a couple Benadryl, I put my earplugs in and my mask on. I'm like, I don't need your food. I just got all my turkey and my tryptophans, and
sayonara.
I'm gone. That's right. That's right.
And then right after we eat, everybody's got these ads.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let's doorbusters. Let's go over here and take advantage of 89%.
Yeah.
All this other stuff. I mean, it's great. Trust me, I'm not complaining by any means. I just think systematically it's lost its luster.
Yeah, I mean, you see some people leaving the dinner early to go shop.
Can I write my congressman to have him delete?
Probably not.
No?
No.
Damn it.
It's not going to probably happen.
I'll be happy with just daylight savings, to be honest with you. Get rid of that.
If I could choose any one of them, it's that. I'd like to get rid of that.
I mean, everything remembers it for us now. We don't have to really do anything.
No, I know, but
my TVs are doing it.
I don't want it dark at 5 p.m.
Samsung, listen up. You're not doing it yet, okay?
5
Especially
p.m. It's already getting dark.
Yeah,
Come
I know.
On. It's 7:30 at night, and I feel like it's 10. I don't like that.
It makes me want to. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Makes me want to hibernate.
Right.
But the end of the year is so near. And
oh boy!
Really, no time to waste for a lot of things. We've had a lot of smart people get in. And we've got some stragglers as well.
Especially, I don't know, we haven't disclosed this yet, but we have a wholesale panel division.
Yes.
That we sell multitudes of solar panels to bigger companies.
Right.
We really haven't told anybody that, and, it is what it is. But you'll learn about it more here soon.
Yeah, we'll have more of an official launch, but we already have orders coming in.
I mean, what's one of them? 30 megawatts or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
It's just a small order.
It's basically when you're looking at selling by the shipping container, 5+100 panels at a time.
How about we just order the boat?
And some of these projects are large enough to do that.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So, seriously, just like Rob said, if you're serious about putting, solar panels, especially this ITC that you're about to lose.
Well, you're going to, some people say, okay, we're losing 4% on January 1st, right? But there's estimates from some financial groups that think $1 billion to $1.5 billion worth of solar panels are going to be purchased between now and the end of the year to hold on to the ITC. There is something called safe harbor if you know how to how to work with it.
A lot of people don't know what it is.
No, but it is an ability that if you follow the rules very specifically and you have certain purchases put in place at certain percentages, you can start your 30% and keep it in through the next 4 years. Your project just needs to be commissioned within that time. But if you don't follow the rules, you don't get it.
We have a way for you to follow the rules.
Yeah, and it will secure your 30% tax incentive.
4% on 10 panels is really not a lot.
Not a lot.
4% on 50 megawatts
is
a chunk of change.
Absolutely.
You can buy 5 or 6 houses with stuff like that.
Absolutely. So
you know what I mean?
It's worth locking it in because it
$1 million homes.
It also allows you to expand the project in that 4 years, and have all that account towards that 30% ITC.
Business people specifically, I'm talking to you right now.
Mm-hmm.
If you're considering seriously doing something about your electric bill, the reality is, I don't care what you do. You're the guy at the end of the day that's going to write that check, and you're going to be so pissed off at everybody else. The reality is, look in the mirror and be pissed off at yourself.
Yeah, I kind of asked, who do you want to write the check to? Southern California Edison, PG&E, or do you want to write it to yourself in a sense?
Well, how about this? The Internal Revenue Service.
Yeah, sure.
Because you forgot to take advantage of it.
Right. But I mean, you could own typically.
They don't mind getting that money, do they?
No, they're hoping you're not doing what we're talking about today. Yeah.
You're not paying attention.
Look,
here's that magician's trick again.
They would rather you pay more taxes than get a benefit on it. Our job is to help you find the benefits and apply them. But you know what? If you're a business with a reasonable bill, or you have demand charges or things like that, you're leaving your profits on the table.
That's just called stupid business.
You know what? The thing is,
I'm sorry, I'm rougher than Rob is.
No. But a lot of people go into business, and congrats for that. But the ones that have been in business for a long time, they've had to be smart to some degree. What I find is it comes down to education. A lot of times individuals and businesses, they're just not privy to all the things that could save them money. We've always talked about it, right? There's only 2 ways to have more money, right? You bring in more revenue, or you keep more of the revenue you brought in.
Amen.
There's only 2 ways. We help you with the second one. You go get more money. We'll help you keep more in your pocket. But right now, so many businesses are leaving their profits on the table. If I can lower your cost of operations, I just gave you a raise. I just increased your margin.
For somebody seriously that has been, especially an S Corp, if you're an accrual company, it really doesn't help that much.
Right.
But if you're a cash company and your tax man and your accountant is not disclosing this to you, the very first thing you want to do is fire both of them.
Yeah, get another advisor.
And then call me up. I'll give you my guy.
Look, and here's the thing, too. Take a look at who are the biggest users out there. Okay, so in commercial, believe it or not, the list, the top 5 are private offices, chemical manufacturing, hospitality. That's going to be your hotels, motels, food product manufacturing, storage, and grocery stores. Okay, that's going to be all your supermarkets and their distribution centers, and then hospitals. Now, they've got a list of 10 here, but let's look at those first 5. If you're anywhere in that list, you're a big user, and you're being penalized for that use.
Especially, a private office owner.
Sure.
Kind of like the guy that owns this building, right?
Well, yeah.
He's got a master meter. Mm-hmm. Everybody out there in solar land right now is shaking their heads. They know what's going to come up next.
Well, yeah.
He's got a master meter. He's in GS2 territory and is probably about 20% of his entire net worth on this building alone is going towards his electric bill.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. So if I'm now the owner of that building, this building here, and I'm paying for your electricity, way to increase my margin is to pay less for your electricity because your electricity is included in your rent.
The greatest thing is, and one of the things I like doing is going to my neighbors and tell them to buy more shit and plug it in.
Right? Keep all the lights on. It really does. I mean, when you think about that, right?
I don't turn anything off. We're running stuff. Shame on him.
AC's down to what? We got coats on.
Oh, right? I mean, I'm a big business owner and everything's going great, but you're kind of dumb on the electricity side to where you can take advantage of that. Yeah. The investment tax credit, the federal accelerated depreciation, and all these other little simple things you can take advantage of.
Right.
If you're not doing it, don't cry when you open that electric bill.
Well, take a look at this. If you've got an ITC that still is in play, and possibly depending on who you are, we might be able to get it into safe harbor. You got 30% right there. You've got MACRS, the modified accelerated, recovery system for your capital. 34%. When's the last time you saw the government give you 64% potential write-off.
Oh, my goodness. Especially on an S-Corp, like I said, you got to get all this money. You want a way to quit cheating the government? Let me show you a good way, right? If you own a building, if you have some property and you want to do the right thing, get yourself a flippin' solar system. Yeah. You're going to wipe out 64% of your liability. B, you're now going to be listed. That building could be listed as a LEED building if you do it right.
Right.
That silver, platinum, LEED certification they got there. And then C, savings at 64% of whatever you're going to be saving, whatever that portion of the electric bill is, times 40 years. Yeah, we're not talking about 25-year manufacturer warranty. Most panels, especially Solaria, which we use, I am telling people that not only do they have a production guarantee and stuff like that, everything is 25 years, but I'm putting all the money on Red 7, man.
Well, yeah, if they're warranting it for that on both manufacturing, performance, and labor, they know it's going to go longer than that because 25 for them is very safe. 25 is beyond safe. Yeah.
And so, again, if you're a building owner and you're not doing solar, there's a screw loose somewhere.
Right. And we're working on a couple projects as well with
very nice projects.
Yeah. Everything from metro stations to city halls. A couple potential customers, and one that we're working on in Orange County is a grocery store. The grocery stores, you think about that, and distribution centers and stuff like that. The key thing with them is refrigeration, and that refrigeration takes a lot of power, and it goes on 24 hours a day. All these types of things, wherever something heats or cools, you're using more power than the average business. So these are people, if you find yourselves in these types of companies, you're spending way more money than you have to, because at the very least, you're going to be able to own it for the same or less. When's the last time, anytime you make a $100,000 purchase, you're going to get $64,000 of it that you can write off?
Hello? That's ridiculous.
Really? Can I go to the store and buy something for $100 and I'm only paying $36 to $40 for it?
Again, if you live in California, man, you need to take advantage of that.
Yeah, and we're approaching the end of the year. Stipulations for safe harbor, really strict. You got to have somebody that knows how to put it in place, and you're going to have to move really quick.
We know how to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you're a business owner, do the thing, do the good.
Exactly. Look, you're in business to be smart. You're there to make money. But one of the ways to make money is to save money. And what we like also about the solar is it's predictable cost. So all these companies, I know when I had my architectural firm even, I did forecasting, right? Yeah. You need to forecast off known quantities if you can, known expenses. But you've got yourself tied to a volatile pricing structure with your utility. Because not only do they go up 6 or 7%, you can go, well, that's predictable. Yeah, but look at critical peak pricing. Look at the way demand charges. And it seems like every couple of years they got a new fee that they thought up of. Get yourself out of that.
And then we had these hellacious fires that just occurred in Southern California.
Absolutely.
Finally, the utility is being held accountable for some of these things, and all they're going to do is pass on these bucks to you guys, add more to your home electricity bills. Trust me, they can't do any worse, I don't think, to your commercial one, because GS2 is like the ultimate discipline.
That's pretty bad.
It's, half of your electric bill is for demand charges. And the sad part is, which I think is outrageous, and I hope the federal government one day would finalize this. Before all this demand stuff came into play, it was kilowatt for kilowatt.
Right.
So, okay, let's just say you have a 50 kilowatt spike.
Yeah.
If you have a solar system that's producing, 50, 75 kilowatts, shouldn't it be covered? Think about it. All these little, they're getting out their calculators right now in crony land, and they're putting all these numbers on there, and they're getting their, their markers on their glass boards. And I don't think Chris is right there, Rob. But let me tell you this: it is what it is.
Yeah.
If you have a system that's producing 50 kilowatts at the same time, and it's going to continue to, commit to 50 kilowatts, why shouldn't it at least get a portion of that demand?
Yeah.
I think the utility company, with the help of the United States government, figured out a way how to stick it to the owner.
Right.
I think it's horrible.
Well, and that's why it's so important that companies like us find a way to neutralize what they're trying to do, right?
I mean, then they have to buy, lithium ion and all this other stuff to hopefully be able to, knock out a bunch of that stuff. But, a long time ago, it was kilowatt hour for kilowatt hour, the same thing for the house.
Right.
And I bet you $100, and Edison's listening, they listen to my podcast implicitly.
Yeah.
And I'm guaranteeing you they're going to add a demand charge to residential customers.
They'll probably figure out a way.
And you know what? I'm really hoping that happens.
Well, to me...
Hate to say that.
No, I know, but to me... anything that kind of pushes...
Shame on you.
Yeah, but the thing is even if it pushes customers to go down the solar path, which everyone can say, well, you guys are promoting it because it's good for you. It's good for everyone.
I mean, let's keep remembering global warming in 2030.
No, exactly. So, I mean, here's the thing. I mean,
Apocalypse.
If you could save money by owning, why wouldn't you?
Exactly.
If you can own and get yourself out of whatever new fee they think up, why wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
To me, the best thing in life, whenever I can, I want to achieve a level of predictability. As much as I can anywhere in my life, whether it's medical, utility, whatever it is. Because the things that stress us the most are the unknowns, right? So what I try to do in my life, whether it's personal or business, I try to get everything I possibly can to be a known quantity. I get it to be predictable. So one of the things we do is if we get your electricity predictable, right, there's one thing I know what it's going to cost me this year and next year and the year after and 5 years later and 10 years later. Do you know what I mean? I know when I'm going to own it and maybe be down to a connection fee. I know that, if I got high demand charges, there are ways around that too. Don't fall for some company that says more panels is going to mitigate that, because it's not. Panels are going to take care of consumption. Batteries and energy management systems will take care of demand. Just be with the right people that do that. But for me in businesses, even when I had a company, my whole thing was everything I could predict made me sleep at night.
Absolutely.
Right?
Let me give you a case in point.
Mm-hmm.
Curtis and I went to a job in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
We just kind of looked and took some pictures of the job. We walked around the house, looked at the service, and all these other things to find out. They have a system they put on in 2012. It was the little pill from Enphase. That was their monitoring, right?
Oh, yeah.
They got 26 panels. They're 210 watts apiece. I mean, add that up. It's like a 5 kilowatt, right?
Yeah.
They have the majority of their panels on the south side of their home.
Okay.
And when I went to that little pill, it registered 1.7 kilowatts.
Houston, we have a problem.
And on the right-hand side, it said plus 18, which means 18 panels,
18 panels
were registering.
So only 18 out of the 26 were registering.
18 out of the 26.
So not only that then, so 18 is still a majority of the panels, but they were still only pulling 1.7.
Well, and then they get their bill, and on their net metering side of their bill, I'm going to educate you really quick on this one. It says 0, 0, 0, 0. It was all zeros.
So it wasn't logging anything.
Well, hang on a second here. There's a way that customers can get that stuff to be logged.
Well, yeah.
They make two kind of meters. I don't know if you knew that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In LED DBP where it says, peak, mid, high.
Exactly.
You can get a different meter, and I'm not going to tell you what that is because you have to call us for it.
Okay.
Right? And this meter will start registering what you're feeding to the grid and what you're using.
Using your consumption.
So you have your consumption and your output.
Okay.
Consumption, output on the low, the mid, and the high.
Right.
So LED DBP tells us, and I asked him, I said, hey, can anybody get this? He goes, yeah, they just got to call up for it.
Wow.
I go to most solar companies request this meter. Yeah. He goes, no.
Yeah.
So this poor guy, he's looking at his bill, even though it's contributing back to the grid.
Right.
He can't read it. He can't measure it.
And if you can't measure it, you can't take advantage of it.
And the guy that installed this solar system for this customer, he calls up and has some questions for him, and the solar company says, "It's working." That's it.
Oh my God! So
this guy owns a $5 million home. And I'm just like, really?
Wow.
This is in 2012. Not that not that the brain matter has passed on to 2019.
Right. So how long has he been without a fully functioning system?
7 years.
Okay, so first of all, very quickly for people listening, okay, because we get called in a lot to fix things.
Call the law offices of Thomas Carter in Claremont. He's my buddy.
So we do get called in a fair amount of time to fix things.
It's
correct?
ridiculous.
Okay, so the first thing we're seeing here is he's got 26 panels, 18 are registering. If the 26 panels were a 5K system, 18 are firing, right? But
Yeah.
we only got 1.7. That means not only are 8 not firing, the other 18 aren't firing fully.
There are approximately 66 watts of power
Right.
going through those solar panels to
Right.
that little pill.
So not only do we have a failure of 8 panels, we have a failure to some degree of other panels in there that are functioning, but not to their fullest. How do you get 1.7?
Come on, man.
How did this go so long without him just screaming? I mean, I'm glad we
You
found
know,
him.
This guy makes $1 million a year. He doesn't really care
he's not
about
paying
it.
attention.
He's not paying attention.
Yeah.
But these are
That's why monitoring is so important because,
Ah.
folks, not only do you get to monitor, we get to pull it up and monitor on our side and see if there's any anomalies going on. And let
I
you
don't know if most people understand this. We get to see the problem before they do,
Yeah,
and then we do a truck roll.
exactly. So we
Of course, it's $1,000 per truck roll.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, and when you're using a quality panel like, for instance, like Solaria, where labor and
yeah.
everything's included, you're covered. So make sure you got the right product. But
No diodes, no
diodes,
none of that little, that silk screen crap they put on top
Nope.
of the silicon cell.
Beautiful.
It's
Not
what
only
is
is
that
it
electric? What do they call that stuff in between that sealer? What are they putting that in? What is that?
Oh, it's a
conductive?
conductive adhesive.
Conductive adhesive.
And
yeah.
then the way they shingle the panel, it's beautiful.
First
of all,
yeah.
aesthetically, it's the most beautiful, but it's also turned out to be extremely powerful and reliable.
Have you noticed their frame is shorter as well?
Everything's more streamlined.
Everything is better. So
Yeah.
just like that truck that you and I just
Yeah.
sent you a link to,
Yeah.
right? They have actually taken all the problems away, all the points of failure.
Yes.
Solaria has done this
They've done that.
successfully.
Absolutely.
And we still get a lot of our older customers calling us back saying, thank you.
Yeah, and the thing is, look, there's people that go out there, and I always say this. You always complain about not having enough money to do it right, and you always find the money to fix it when it's
fix
wrong.
it right.
This particular client,
And you will fix it.
This particular client, there's not much of a fix outside of a replacement.
Well,
Right?
unfortunately,
everything's failed so badly.
Unfortunately, his solar provider is still in business, and I say that,
Right.
with
I know what you're saying.
with zero love.
No, they should, because they're putting more of this stuff out there.
And it's just a bad mixture of stupid / stupid.
Yeah.
So that being said, we're going to actually remove that entire system, put a Solaria system replacement in place. And you know what? We're going to be using Solar Edge on this one, Enphase. As far as I'm concerned, some people say, okay, they're getting better, they're IP8, whatever, they're getting better. Until I see some track records, man, you're out. But
I've heard good stuff about the IQ8. It's not out yet, I don't think, but right now, I mean,
I'm going to be hard to be pleased.
with as many facets that he has on the roof, the Solar Edge would be the better.
Solar Edge is
we do SMA if he had less. If
ultimate.
If we had one direction, we'd be
That's
or a
right.
couple, 2 or 3 directions. We'd go with the old workhorse of SMA.
SMA has 3 connection points. It's
Right.
multiple power point tracking, MPPT. Every inverter eventually runs into a snag. That's just evolvement, right? That's just how things get bigger and better. It's like we used to live in caves. Now we live in houses. And pretty soon we'll be floating. Who knows, right? So we're going to be taking space trips to hang out for the weekend and then come home and tell everybody about it, right? So as everything evolves, technology involves. And the greatest thing is that SMA America has been one of the most, Rock of Gibraltar, one of the most solid inverters on the planets that I've ever seen. They have 3 connection
solid.
points, so I can put an array on the south side, I can put one on the east side, I can put one on the west side, and it's going to register totally what's going on, and it's going to produce, because they're transformerless.
Yeah.
All circuitry. It's evolved. It's here.
Yeah.
SMA is the way to go.
You know what's important to
put one on my roof.
Yeah, and what's important to do too is you want to try to boil the system down to the most simplistic you can, because the more moving parts you can take out of a system, also the more reliability you have.
That's right.
I mean, if you've got panels, I mean, everyone's pitching, oh, you got to put a microinverter everywhere, even if there's no shade. No, you don't really.
That's
okay,
right.
That's a line they're selling you, and it's an AC system, and they're trying to market something they don't fully understand. But to keep the system simple, as clean as possible, without as many moving parts as possible, means there's less points of failure, and that means you're up more. That's what the whole thing is about, right?
You and I talk about this time after time after time, how customers would speak to us, and of course they're holding up this big shield as we're walking in the door, you know, in hopes that they don't hear any crap. You know, that's the bullshit shield, and they sit you down and they've said, listen, we've talked to 5 different companies.
Yeah.
What makes you different than the rest? And the first part I like to tell them is, well, first and foremost, you know, almost like to get them into a chi moment, you know, clear their hard drive in their head.
Yeah.
And then once I've formatted that area, I like to come out and say, well, let's start from the beginning.
Yeah.
Let's tell you how it's evolved. Let's tell you what's going on. Let's look at your roof, and we'll actually do it live in the house.
Yeah.
And, you know, and we invite customers. In fact, we'll give them 10% off to come to our office.
Right.
They could look at this giant television we put all this stuff on. But the good thing is once a customer is properly educated and he gets past the hoorah or the $1,000 discount or, hey, if you buy today, you know, I'll go visit your grandma.
Yeah.
You know, just little dumb things like that. And most of these kids, and I call them kids, I still feel like I'm 35.
Yeah, me too.
All right. But anyways, these kids that are going up to these people and they've got a week's worth of training.
Yeah.
And they just
2 weeks if you're lucky. Yeah.
Within 30 minutes, and they have you close, and they stick these customers into these nasty finance programs.
Things they don't even truly understand. I always say when somebody says what makes you different, I say, well, first of all, I'm not here to sell you anything.
Oh my God!
First of all, I'm here to educate.
We educate.
I'm here to help you learn what is real and what isn't. I had one customer recently say, out of all the people we met, 75% of the people are saying you're wrong. And I said, oh, okay, that's about right. And they looked at me like weird. And they said, well, what do you mean?
What do you mean?
You accepted that. I go, well, 75 to 80% of people out there don't know what they're doing.
That's right.
All right, we're not a salesperson that's going to sail and bail. We're not coming to your home and you're never going to see us again. We're the actual people that design it, you know, have done this in the field for the biggest companies and brands in the world. They can call me
up to 10 p.m. I mean, give me a jingle. You know, what's up?
We're available. And we do what's right by our customers. We're not hidden behind some big machine that you can never get a hold of somebody's supervisor to find out what's going on. I mean, you talk directly to the people that run the company. But that's the thing. We're not there to sell you. You're going to sell yourself if it makes sense. It's our job, though, to educate you so you know the difference.
And listen to this. The size of the company means nothing.
Yeah.
I don't care if he's got 100 salespeople. Most companies are making 100 mistakes every day. And that just multiplies. All that does is put a black eye on our industry.
Well, yeah.
You know, we've got a very select group of people. You don't have to have 1,000 guys out there. I would almost kind of say,
I think the size is actually the larger.
In this case, Rob, size does not matter.
Well, in this case, larger isn't better, and I'm going to tell you why. I still have people, of course, in the industry, right?
Goodness.
We've made how many friends working for the SunPowers and all these other big companies in the world, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of the big brands that you probably will recognize from buying your bulk food or getting your hardware, because they're probably there. They bought a kiosk position in the store,
paying that annual membership,
and they pay the store if you go solar.
15% of the gross amount.
Yeah, it's going to the store or something. The brand.
These home improvement stores and these membership stores are getting at the till, which means you, the customer, are already paying over and above 15%, and it doesn't make sense.
And that's why the price you're paying them is for a 290 or 300 watt panel instead of a 360 Solaria, because you're paying for that space in the store and you're paying for their marketing program. But something that's also big is when I talk to these individuals I've known that are still working for these companies, they are stressed. You know what they're stressed about? Am I going to hit my quota?
Make their quotas, yeah.
If I don't hit my quota this month, I'm out of a job. And what we see two things happen. One thing I call commission breath.
Yeah.
They're there. Yeah, it doesn't smell good. Let me tell you, they're there to sell to make the money, or worse than that, they're there to sell to keep their job. And what inevitably happens is it pushes maybe a good person into a territory where they're putting up deals that aren't exactly right, and they're doing that because, well, they need to make the sale. It
forces them to make mistakes.
Yeah, and for us, we have.
Why would you do that to somebody?
We have zero commissions. We have none of the things here that plagues or possibly pushes somebody to make the wrong sale, and that's a really big deal because I watch people that have said, or I threw it up. I think it might get DQ'd, but I need the numbers. No, you need to do what's right by the customer, and we hear this all the time. And a few of these guys have finally gotten tired, and they're moving over to work with us just to do legitimate work. But there's a lot of benefits out there, and the biggest thing for you to do is to get some knowledge about it. Especially in our business, your bottom line is our bottom line.
Here's what I suggest everybody to do. Now, again, we don't have 1,000 sales reps, and most of those guys, by the way, Rob, don't have HIS licenses. Did you know that?
Yeah, that's true.
It's a violation of the California Contractor State License Board. So anybody out there that's getting ready for solar land and put something on your roof, doesn't matter what home improvement they're trying to sell you, look for their license. If it's not around their neck, immediately point at the door and say, get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Number one. Yeah. Okay. Number two, whatever solar quote you happen to get, whatever quote it is, send it to QHI. Let us look at it. If anything, I want to be able to take out. Now, if you know who I am, you'll see in my pictures, I always have a highlighter sitting around my neck. And let me tell you the purpose of that highlighter. It's to make 90% of these clowns look even clownier. Yeah. Right? I want to be able to take this highlighter out and show you the pros and the cons of everything that you're jumping into. And that's including your financing. So if you want to get a forced lobotomy, don't do anything, because these guys are going to sit there and suck your spine fluid out as they're pushing this thing in your skull in hopes that you drink the Kool-Aid and buy from them. So don't do it, please. Send us your quotes, and just call us up at 1-800-275-2154. Just go to QHIINC.com, make that call, and send it to us. Let us look at it. Diagnose it, just like, a doctor diagnoses when you have an issue, and let us either tell you thumbs up or thumbs down, and what's the best way to go.
I'll tell you,
period. Nobody would do that.
Most of the customers that come through here, when they start talking to the individuals we have here, they get that comfort of knowing we're on their side and we're really looking out for them. And the majority of them actually send over the PDF copies of their quotes.
Imagine that.
And they'll say, "What do you think about it?" And I'll tell you something. If you got a great deal out there, and I can't beat it equipment-wise, we couldn't beat it financial-wise, I'm going to give you a thumbs up and go, you know what? Yeah. This is what I'd have to charge. That's a good deal.
I'm going to shake their hand. Yeah. And say, God bless you, man.
That happens extremely rarely. It hasn't happened yet, typically, because of the type of things that companies are typically selling out there at the price points they're selling. But some of the technology is not. I mean, I think
old. every single deal that you and I have been referred to from the outside in, and we've closed them all because we put out the honesty and the integrity, and we just show you.
Yeah, and if you could take that and put it next to the other ones, it becomes pretty clear which one's the better.
It's the old, Ben Franklin, the pro and the con.
Well, and the thing that's tough out there is you got individuals that have a lot of opinions, and we know about that. Everyone's got an opinion, right? But that doesn't mean they got facts. I don't like opinions. Right. I like facts.
Yep.
But a lot of customers get confused by all the rhetoric that's out there. And what we just try to do is strip it down to being very simple. This is what matters. This is why that matters. This is what has value. This is what doesn't have value, and let you make your decision. But for commercial, especially right now, I'm really concerned for that, because let's take a look at it. If you're going residentially into one of these big companies who says they're going to get you the 30% tax incentive because they're going to install you by the end of the year, they're not. You're looking at 3-month plus installation times. We have our latest installation was it's going to install within less than 3 weeks.
We got one right now.
2 weeks?
LEDWP, under 10 kilowatt,
Yeah.
we're going to pull the permit, and probably today or Monday, it'll be installed that same week.
Yeah, same. Yeah, exactly. We're like 7 days in an install. So there's a lot of big companies that can't do that. So that's number one. So residentials, if you guys are trying to sneak in by the end of the year, do it. Make the call. Let's go really quick. The other thing is commercial. You're not getting installed this year.
Yeah, so don't drink any more of the Kool-Aid,
If you have
okay?
a small system, and I mean a small system, 60, 70, 80 panels on a small business, you sign this week, you may get in, okay? But if not, and you've got something larger, you need to be talking to someone that knows how to secure things through Safe Harbor for you, like we do. So we can get the 30% locked in there. The Mackers is there until further notice, so that 34% is cool for you. But for all you big users, or you know what I like about supermarkets? Supermarkets, if you can prove in one of their stores you're going to save them X amount of money, they've got 20, 30, 40, 50 stores. So that savings is exponential, right? If I can save 30% on one store, well, how much am I saving on 10 or 20 stores? It's fantastic.
I mean,
in a lot of these cases, is 40 to 50% savings. If you're in bad enough shape to be in GS3, you actually have more consumption we're able to handle, because about 75% of your bill is consumption would actually benefit you, because it means we can get rid of more of your bill.
Isn't that weird how that works out? Is that like a disciplinary action to a customer that says, hey, you're over 20 kilowatts, now you've just graduated to GS2. And the span between GS2 to GS3 is 20 to 200 kilowatts.
Yeah, and I think that once you get to GS3, even Edison or companies like that can't charge you as much as they did in GS2, because
and when you do the numbers,
it's bad enough.
You take out your calculator, you do the numbers. Edison probably went, "Oh my God, that's a lot of money, man.
Yeah.
We can't do that to them. They'll definitely scream to the CPUC."
No, they're in GS3 and they're already got $30,000 to $50,000 a month bills.
That's just to keep the lights on, Rob.
Lights on.
That doesn't mean they make any money.
So what if on a GS3
Disgusting.
What if on GS3 we can take away 75% of your bill?
Now you're talking.
And whatever money you're paying for that, now you're owning your system.
Stay in GS3, please.
But we're at that point. You're
That's right.
The money you're spending to pay Edison now pays yourself to own the equipment, so that 10, 20 years out or whatever it's going to be, you no longer have that 75%. You got your connection fee and demand charge, and if you want, we can look at demand with batteries.
Your ROI is extremely fast.
Well, the thing is, too, just look at it right
75%. That's crazy.
And is there an ROI on renting?
No, never.
Oh, there isn't?
No.
So, but from Edison and PG&E and all these companies, aren't they essentially renting?
Yeah, these guys. Hey, again,
it's like your energy is an apartment.
Personally, I love Southern California Edison for two reasons only.
They do their job. Well,
2 reasons only, Rob.
Yeah.
First one is taking us out of the caveman era. Appreciate that.
Yeah, we don't have to have campfires.
I can go into the side of a hill and kind of make my little hut. Put up my little tent, and I can plug in my iPad.
Look, all the things we're doing in this room right now is because
right.
we
couldn't have this podcast if it wasn't for Edison.
Right. I couldn't have my phone charged.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
125 years in service. Unfortunately, those fires kind of caught up with you, man. But you'll get over that, right? Secondly, why I love Southern California Edison is because every time they think they're doing something great for the public, which is the opposite, it makes us more money as a company. So thank you.
And the thing is,
I really, really, really appreciate that. Every time some of your marketing guys or some of your brilliant ideas, you get into this room and you start to calculate, how can we make more money? And I get it. You're a business. You're a for-profit company. God bless you. A, you've helped me come out of the caveman era, and B, you keep hosing my customers. I love it. Thank you. It's so perfect. You put us together and make the most ultimate medium than I could ever do. You are my best marketing. I can't get anything better than these guys.
They essentially are the salespeople. Well, what's beautiful about this model is they're making money. Everyone's a for-profit business, right?
Yeah.
The problem with that is that they're for profit at the cost of the customer.
And I don't know if that's right.
No, we're for profit while saving the customer.
So it's a good marriage.
So great. It's great we make money, but at the same time, it's a win-win because we're saving our customer money and we're allowing them to own.
And
that's beautiful.
Don't you love it when
Isn't that supposed to be? And oh, by the way, it just happens to be good for the environment.
Yeah. How cool is that?
Okay, so I save my customer money. I save the planet, and the company also makes money to be around to do what? Save more people money, help the planet more. It's a fantastic thing.
I really like their website too. When you ever go to some of those pages, it says, "Hey, / whatever." You got this guy. He's all cheery, like with critical peak pricing.
He's all
you
smiling.
got this
that
guy
your rate
hanging
went up.
out in the back of his, life is so good. Thank you so much. And all they did in fine print, I'll just tell it to you how it came out. You've been hosed. So thanks for being a customer.
Of course.
Appreciate you.
Keep in mind the man or woman that's in their photo on the page of your rates just went up. They do have a 30% discount for being an employee. So they're not quite as hit as hard as you are.
Yeah, they're happy.
Yeah.
But anyways, again, I appreciate them and thank you. Keep doing a great job. And I can't.
It does help us reach more customers and save people money. But that's
wonderful. Have as many rate hikes as you like. Make demand charge. Come to the residential sector. Do what you do best, and
we'll do what we do best.
That's right. We'll just keep eradicating people from your grid one at a time.
It's nice to get you some of the. Doesn't it feel good though to get some of our customers off that electrical IV drip?
Well, I'm just kind of sad, and
we get a lot of emails every month of people saying,
"I'm just sad."
Look at my new bill.
They got to charge a connection fee though. They didn't do that in EM 1.0. There was no connection fee. Again, it was kilowatt hour for kilowatt hour. And all you guys out there that want to see a check that came back from Edison to a customer of mine, I still have it. I'll be able to show you.
But here's the thing. They need the connection fee because there are a lot more people making the switch than they thought were going to.
Well, especially this guy, a friend of mine in Fountain Valley, he kept telling me every year, I got another check from the utility company. His bills were $0.
Yeah.
And then they paid him like $36 a year. It wasn't the monetary value of it. It was the value of my house is super energy efficient.
Right.
Thank you, Chris. You've done the right job.
But what they couldn't do is, it went from a handful of customers to thousands and tens of thousands to 100,000s of people that are switching. So, and you still do use their grid a bit. So
16 million of them.
So they have to. I don't think they anticipated so many people switching, which brings me to the point of why aren't you switching yet out there if you haven't already?
Yeah. So, again, you're going to only switch when you finally get hit with this demand charge. You get hit with this unexpected, it's right before Christmas. My electric bill is, and I hear it all the time, $800.
We see a lot of big
Are
bills.
you kidding me?
We see a lot of large bills, yeah. So
LADWP, I have to tell you, is one of the most notorious bank robbers of your. I don't know, man.
I just look at it
horrible.
this way. Look, you already know the problem. Get ahead of it. Right?
Yeah.
You go to a doctor. Hopefully, you get some checkups, preventive maintenance. Right.
There's one thing that I won't get checked, but anyways,
so you want to go do those things, right? Because you could head off a problem. Here, you know the problem. The sooner you make the switch, the sooner you save. The sooner also you get a system paid off so that the only thing you have is that connection fee. Maybe if we could do a 100% system on a resident, on businesses, it's a bit different. But why wouldn't you want to increase your profit? Why wouldn't you want to increase your bottom line?
There was a guy also that out there in the LinkedIn land that said, it's been proven that perpetual motion don't work, Chris. I just kind of laughed. Yeah. I'm like, what part of the stupid line did you come out of?
Well,
magnets are great, man. They just got to harness that. And once I want to blurt it out there. Whoever's working on perpetual motion, keep working on it.
Yeah, it'll come
It's
around.
been proven, and it's going to be great. And then we can totally disconnect from the grid because we're going to be selling it to you. Yeah. Trust me. I'm working on that myself. Anyways, that's another story.
That's another story. But get your power. Take your power back. That's my whole thing.
Take control of your power future.
And I want residential people to be as smart as the commercial, who basically look at all their expenses as a business pro forma, and wherever they can cut a cost, they try to do that. Because, cutting a cost might mean you can pay your employees more.
Hello?
Might mean a number of things that you could do that are beneficial to your company.
64%, Rob.
So, there's never been a time. Yeah, there's never been a time then right now that has more discount available and incentives available, you need to be moving.
Yeah.
And with California, not only does the ITC go down on January 1st, mandatory all new homes have to have solar on January 1st.
Title 24 has finally facilitated a 2.5 kilowatt on every house. And that's going to be coming at you. There's this new acronym, everybody. Listen up. It's called the HERS rating system.
Yeah.
And you can go to Google and type ResNet, ResNet, and look at the videos. Look at what's about to happen, just like your car that gets a Carfax when it's in an accident.
Yeah.
Your house is an
Or a
accident.
smog check or
Did you know
anything.
that's one of the most dirtiest things that we own is our homes?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All the pollutants that come out of that thing,
Yeah.
because it's using dirty energy, number one, to run, and then we're using water, and you can't trust water anymore. Holy crap. You don't want to be drinking that from the tap anytime
It's going to
soon.
have to be one of our next subjects as well as
You'll have a third eye come out.
is how much plastic we're breathing and drinking every day, which is another interesting thing.
Yeah, and most importantly, they're going to start bringing that HERS rating to your house.
So we know
So
we have
you are going to be rated soon, and the guys that don't have efficiencies, remember, solar's great, and we don't just do solar. So don't let these solar guys, like, I don't know, one of those guys here, and they're called Sun Schmucks, I call them. But anyway, starts with an L, ends with an X. Okay. Oh, they're roofing experts, too. Pretty soon it's going to be, hey, so-and-so solar, rubber baby bunkers, bumpers, blah, 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 and all this other stuff. Don't swallow the Kool-Aid, man. Go to the experts that know it all. I started in the home improvement business, and when solar was there, I automatically grasped onto that.
Yeah.
So we're well educated by any means.
Yeah, we've got.
Last thing I want to say to especially residential customers, there's a great new financing program in play. And I'm just going to give you a little trailer. If you want to learn more, you got to go to the website, QHIINC.com / I think it's financing or something like that. Just go up to the top where it says resources, click on financing. It's the second one down. We have a program that you can get your solar system. You can get your rubber baby buggy bumpers. You can take $10,000 cash and go down to Vegas and put it on Red 7. You can get your windows. You can get everything else. And you
Pay student loans.
You can pay your student loans off.
Pay a high
Or
percentage credit card bills
my
off.
buddy Mark's going to love this. You can take a little bit more equity out and put it on a World Financial Group annuity. But we'll talk about that later. Mark's going to come in later on this month. Yeah. And at the end of the day, 30 years, no payment, no interest. 30 years. Can you imagine that?
Great deferment.
So let's just do the math real quick, Rob. The average guy has $200 a month on an electric bill if he's got anything, right?
Right.
You times that by 12, that brings it to $2,400. Times that by 30 years, $72,000.
And in reality,
did you guys do the math?
Yeah.
$200 a month times 12,
So
$2,400 times
right.
30 years.
And it's
$72,000. So if your solar system costs you, let's just say it's $50,000.
right.
What did solar really cost you?
Well, and the $72,000 does not include
Oh,
compounded 7% a year increase. So believe me, when you factor that
or
in,
the ITC.
that's double that number.
So
That's $140,000.
this guy on LinkedIn kind of almost swallowed his tongue as I was talking to him.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, solar really doesn't cost you a penny.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, how the hell can you say that? I said, simple math, dude. If you graduated with a GED, you should be able to figure this thing out. Mm-hmm. And then I gave him this scenario.
Yeah.
I said, it doesn't matter. Let's just say you do $1,200 a year times 30 years. That's $36,000. That's the average cost for a solar system. And you're not taking advantage of the ITC. We're not adding that 7% utility rate,
which basically
lobotomy at the same time.
Your bill nearly doubles every decade. So keep that in mind.
Exactly.
Okay. So, I mean, that's...
We have a plan for you. If you want to seriously talk more about it, we got some videos. We got, some really great PDFs. And guess what? You benefit even more if the housing market tanks.
Yeah.
and your FICO score only needs to be 500.
But the bottom line is if
you get that?
If you're
500.
If your equity just goes up in your house in general, you can make enough just by refinancing within that certain period of time and pay your system off cash for free. And in that sense, it didn't cost you anything, did it?
The money that you're going to be saving with the utility company, I tell this to everybody, stick it in your cookie jar for the next 30 years.
Yes.
You're going to have cash to pay it off.
We're starting to give cookie jars with all our systems. So that
right.
You can, once you eat all the cookies in it, it reminds
says
you
freedom at the bottom.
Yeah, it will remind you to put your money aside, because that money aside could be investments or it could be an extra house payment a year. So you can shorten you can take your 30-year mortgage down to 15 or 20.
Solar is the most advanced way to not only take advantage of the energy savings, saving the planet and all this other stuff that we talk about all the time. It's going to help you out financially. It's going to create for you an annuity. It's going to make your house payments go down lower. It's going to pay off your credit cards, your student loans, your cars. So why the hell haven't you done it yet?
Everything in your home uses something. Solar is the only thing that produces something.
Thank you.
Right? And it's an asset that goes up in value because every year your utility goes up 7%. Your system just got much more valuable because it saved you 7% more money.
It's the
every year.
It's the only thing that creates energy.
Yeah.
And you get a nice little equity boost when you're doing it. I mean,
so hold on. My equity goes up. I get a 30% ITC, and possibly if I refi out 10 or 15 years later, I'm going to pay off my system.
Okay.
And it really didn't cost me anything, maybe.
Yeah. Let's go back to that one scenario. What was $36,000, right?
Yeah.
Let's take that same $100, times it by 12, times it by 20. You're going to add about $24,000 of equity.
Right.
So not only did you have enough money by whatever you saved that you weren't paying the utility, sticking it in your cookie jar, you're going to write off 30% on your federal taxes, the money you might owe the government. And then you're going to get this equity boost to the whole thing. And on top of that, you're saving 7%. You're saving even future rate hikes.
Predictability again, remember?
So
insulate yourself from the problem. You know what the problem is. You know what the increase is in the bill, but you have the power of beginning your own utility. You really do.
The same scenario exists even better for commercial customers. Mm-hmm. Do it.
Absolutely.
Do it.
In fact, on the commercial level, it's exponentially larger, the savings. Everything that's critical for a homeowner is even more critical for the business owner. And the business owner gets the Macker's 34% depreciation, which could be applied 100% in year one as well. There's so many benefits out there. None of the benefits are staying with your utility. For 80-90% of the people out there, you benefit from leaving them. And it's just about getting the right education, and not like the example you showed earlier, where a guy has a system that hasn't worked well for the last 5 or 7 years. Go with somebody that knows what they're doing. And here, I got to tell you, the larger companies do not mean bigger benefits. I've worked for them.
Listen, ask your next solar guy that comes to your house before you shove him out the door. Ask him what the PTC rating of their solar panel is. Something as simple as that. And if they don't give you the answer, tell them goodbye.
They won't.
I'll make it easier on them. Give them the PTC of the inverter. How about that?
They won't know it. I mean,
it's ridiculous, right? Yeah, it's stupid. But anyways,
I like to give a lot of heck to the guys in the stores. Because,
I beat them up all the time.
They just don't have answers, and they're saying, "Well, I'm just an appointment setter," and so then you have the guy come out, as we've done, and I'll let you know too. I have some people that still work in the industry, and when we get together for lunch and get together and we talk about solar, right? It's our business. They're consistently blown away by how much we know.
Imagine that.
And then I'm like, well, your boss should at least know. And the bosses in these companies, half of them aren't solar guys.
80% of them.
They're a manager that came from Enterprise Rental Car or from another type of company. But
I got a management degree in rubber baby buggy bumpers.
They don't. The thing is that
I can run your company.
I want a career solar person talking to me, and that's what we are.
If you've never been in the trenches, putting this stuff together, installing it on the roof, doing the electrical part, and getting down to the scientific part of a solar system, get the flip out. Yeah, that's how it is.
Yeah. Otherwise,
too bad.
No, solar is extremely beneficial to everyone. It will save you so much money in the long term. But if you're not vetting the people out and getting the right person on, it could do you just as much harm.
Rob, at the end of the days, we've got the right answers. It doesn't take but 30 minutes to kind of learn what we want to tell you. Come down in Upland, California. Hang out with us. Coffee's free. Whatever. I even have Pop-Tarts, Rob.
We got popcorn. We got treats. We got but
bring your kids.
What's really
Hang
nice
out,
though. The other thing too is what's really nice if you come to the office. Besides, we've talked about a discount for coming to the office. One of the reasons is too. We got the Solaria panel on the wall. We got the SMA inverters
Look
on the
at
wall.
it, touch it, feel it.
You get to see the quality of the stuff, and then we could sit down there and live in front of you design a system and show you how it works, but more importantly, why and how and why we've done what we've done and why this makes more sense for you and your home and your shade issues if you have them and things like that. It's very interactive. You get to meet the people. Once you meet the people, that's pretty much it. It's just a good group of people that sell only the right deal, and that's vital to us.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
So if you want to spend a little time, come down and see us. We'd be more than happy to talk to you. Special thanks and shout out to our friends at SMA. Thanks for sending us that 7,600 watt inverter.
Beautiful.
We got it mounted on our wall.
Right next to that Solaria panel.
Oh, man, we proudly displayed everywhere we go. So, Nancy, thank you. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you for sending that to us. Sorry to be a pain in your butt, but we finally got it to the finish line. Yeah, a special thanks to our friend Stri up there at Solaria. She's a gem. She just sent us over these really cool breath mints that have Solaria on them.
They're cool, the little packaging.
I know,
we
right?
got some other material because we're going to do some events.
Yes.
We're actually doing some school events coming up,
Absolutely. Thank you so much for doing that.
And Elliot, I got to say hi
Elliot,
to my buddy Elliot at
got to
Solaria.
hang out to Elliot at Solaria.
Yeah,
Robin, sorry to see you go. But, Elliot is a great person out there.
I've known him for years.
Just think solar, man. If you're thinking green, think QHI.
Yeah.
We're here in Upland.
That's for sure.
Come
Trust
down
me,
and see us.
if you've got some quotes, even better to run it by us, and we'll show you what's going on.
They can visit us on the internet, right, Rob?
Yeah, absolutely.
What's that website address?
The website address,
QHIINC.com, baby.
Great.
That's right.
QHIINC.
Hey, Rob, thanks for hanging out, man. Another great show. 56 minutes into it, really?
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? We just get off on this stuff.
Well, it is the energy hour, so we're approaching that hour mark, right?
Before we do
we got
this,
3 minutes. What do you want to say? No?
We're good to go. I really appreciate you, man. Thanks for bringing the education back to the table.
Let's bring some solar green in for the holidays,
right?
For people, right? We do have some promotions that are going to be announced shortly, so if you are thinking it, you're entering probably the last week or so that will take orders to get you in, hopefully by the end of the year.
We can get you in, so if you want to do it, we've got a lot of people that will bang this out for us.
And if you are a straggler and really desperately want to get your home in or something, talk to us. We might be able to have a promotion to help you maintain that ITC.
Just saying, 'tis the season, right?
To be jolly, right? Let's go solar.
Thanks, Rob. Talk to you soon, buddy.
Take care, everyone.
All right, bud.
The Energy Hour was brought to you by...
Capture the joyful magic of the holiday season with Virtual Santa. Virtual Santa is a high-definition projection effect that walks, waves, laughs, eats cookies, and puts presents under the tree. From outside, it's so real, you swear Santa's in your house. Virtual Santa, originally seen on ABC's The Great Christmas Light Fight. You can choose from traditional Virtual Santa or new African American Santa. Holiday effects include Virtual Santa, Mrs. Claus, Santa's Workshop with Christmas elves, and so much more. Buy one effect or a bundle. Available in HD DVD, digital download, or USB flash drive. Also available in LED projection bundles. For a winning Christmas display that will delight your neighbors young and old, visit us at virtualsanta.com and become known as the house where Santa lives. Virtual Santa, where holiday spirit begins.
You spend to ensure good health 100, 1,000, a million? For less than 100, you can get a 2-month supply of a VHE Superfood, the revolutionary new health supplement packed with everything you need to look great, feel great, and have renewed energy. Call 618-800-6670. A VHE Superfood, beyond organic. Go to realhealthforyou.com. Total Life Energy in powder, pill, or elixir. Your health. What's it worth to you? Call 618-800-6670 now.
Latest electric bill? Is it less than last month or last year? Probably not. But if you had a solar system from QHI, it would be. Your electric meter could be running backwards. Right now, get a QHI system installed for no money down, no out-of-pocket expenses. Get an immediate savings on your electric bill. Call 909-609-5437. Solar is all they do. Call QHI 909-609-5437.
Beauty, efficiency, and power. The only product we know in the solar industry is Solaria. Maximum power. For nearly 25 years, Solaria has set the pace for solar panel performance, efficiency, reliability, quality, and design. Maximum power. Solaria continues to leverage its patented technology, engineering expertise, and sophisticated automation into creating one of the most attractive, energy-efficient solar panels available on the market today. Maximum power. What really defines home solar? How about Solaria? Quality you can trust for your home or business. Solaria is the new benchmark for solar energy. Where do you get this panel for your home or business? Go to QHIINC.com. That's QHIINC.com/Solaria. SOLARIA.
Thank you for listening to The Energy Hour. Visit them on the internet by going to QHIINC.com/TEO. That's QHIINC.com/TEO.